Take a look at all that snow behind me. No bicycle riding today. Anyway, 2020 is wrapping up, and I thought I'd make a top 10 ranking of all the bike paths that I rode this year. I've ridden 627 miles, which is by far an improvement over last year. And some of the things that I thought about in making these rankings are the trail surface, whether it's crushed limestone or pavement, some of the amenities along the trail, the scenery, and basically just the way the trail made me feel as I rode it. Now, just because some of these trails might be on the bottom of my list doesn't mean that they're bad trails. So I recommend you try all of these trails out and make your own decision. And then lastly, I want to thank everybody that's watched these videos. I'm up to almost 2,000 views, which is really great. Hope you keep watching. And if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And now, here's the top 10 list. Starting out at number 10 is the High Bridge Trail. This was the road trip for the year. It's in Farmville, Virginia, and it was an absolutely beautiful drive through Virginia for me to get to this trail. This trail is a crushed limestone trail, and it's pretty easy to ride on for a gravel trail. The best thing about this trail is the High Bridge. It's 24,000 feet long, 125 feet high, and it's got really amazing views. After that though, there isn't really a whole lot to see. Large sections of the trail are very straight, and after a while, it gets kind of monotonous. I'd never been on this trail before, so it was still an adventure. Number 9, the Montour Trail. This is in Pennsylvania, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this trail. It's great that it's the longest trail near me. There are a lot of places where you can hop on this trail and do a 20-mile out and back ride. There are some tunnels to go through. There's the McDonald Trestle to go over, which gives you really good views, and it connects to the Allegheny Passage and the Panhandle Trail. But it has a finely crushed limestone surface, and that's where the hate comes in. Riding this trail after a recent rain is absolutely miserable. The trail becomes soupy, and it just seems to swallow you up. Make sure the sun has been out for a few days before riding this trail, and you'll have a good time. Number 8 is the Three Rivers Heritage Trail. This is a paved trail in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was a new trail for me. It's a much more urban trail with good views of the Pittsburgh skyline. You pass by artifacts from the steel mills that used to operate in the area, and there looks like there are plenty of places on this trail where you can get something to eat. You do have to pay attention to the trail because it changes directions often. I only did about half of this trail, and I'm looking forward to doing the other half. Mill Creek Metro Parks. This is a paved trail in Canfield, Ohio. It passes through a wide variety of farmland, forested areas, and some swamp areas. Lots of wooden railings along the trail add to its beauty. The best part of this trail was passing by the sunflowers and looking at the wildflowers along the path. There are some busy road crossings on this trail, so be careful. Number 6 is the Wheeling Heritage Trail. This is a paved trail in Wheeling, West Virginia. I always question whether to ride this trail or not, and every time I do, I enjoy it. It's just that the first time I did it, I had to ride into a really stiff headwind, and I always seem to remember that. This trail follows along the Ohio River and gives you some great views of the river, and you can watch the barges make their way through the locks. It is pretty exposed in spots, so make sure you bring that sunscreen. Number 5 is the Ohio to Erie Canal. This is part of a much larger trail system that goes from the Ohio River to Lake Erie. The part I've ridden is centered around Massillon, Ohio. This is a crushed limestone trail, and it can be pretty bumpy in some places. There's a bike shop right at the Massillon trailhead and a place to eat so you can get all the stuff you need before you ride. And while you're riding, you can follow along the canal, and at one point, you can actually watch a canal boat being pulled by horses. Plus, looking at the old canal locks is pretty cool. Number 4 is the Butler-Freeport Trail in Pennsylvania. I had been on this trail before, but not this section of it. It's a crushed limestone trail, and it has some great views of a stream below you. There's a section of the trail where it is hugging the hillside, and the stream is a straight drop next to you. I love that view. Plus, there's lots of places to sit and watch the stream go by. Number 3 is the Panhandle Trail. This trail crosses the border between West Virginia and Pennsylvania. This trail is in my backyard, and I've logged a bunch of miles on it. I think it will always be in my top 5. Most of it is pavement with a bit of crushed limestone on either end, But the big reason it's on my top 5 is that I rode the entire trail out and back. That included a section of the trail that I had never been on, even though I've been riding it for years. I love this trail. Number 2 is the Little Beaver Creek Greenway Trail in Lisbon, Ohio. This is a great trail. It just has a serene feel to it. There's a stream below you, lots of shade, and if you ride the trail in the fall, the leaf color is amazing. Plus, there's a rock climbing section if you're brave enough to do it. Me, I've never been that brave. And the number 1 trail that I rode for 2020 is the Paint Creek Recreational Trail in Chillicothe, Ohio. This is a paved trail, and it was a new trail to me. I rode half of it one day, came back and rode the other half another day, and then I rode the entire trail for a 64-mile ride. That was my first metric century, which was totally amazing to me. I didn't even know if I was going to make that or not. Beyond that, it goes through a lot of beautiful open farmland, and you can learn about the ancient Hopewells, a Native American mound-building tribe. Well, that's my list. Let me know if there are any trails that you like to ride. I'm going to try and provide a link to all of these trails down below so that you can check them out and see if you would like to ride them. I'm hoping next year is an even better year for riding the bicycle. I'd like to get 1,000 miles in. That would be great. Fingers crossed, I'm going to ride the entire Ohio to Erie trail next year. So definitely looking forward to that. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year.